Heart, when you stop chasing him, he starts feeling that silence. And silence, that's louder than any text you could ever send. All right, heart, listen to me for a second. Let's talk about something that drives a lot of women crazy. That waiting game. You know exactly what I'm talking about, heart. When you're sitting there staring at your phone, checking your messages every few minutes, wondering why he hasn't called, why he hasn't texted. Heart, you replay the last conversation thinking, did I say something wrong? Did I sound too interested? Heart, should I have waited longer to reply? You start second guessing yourself, overthinking, wondering if he's lost interest. Heart, but let me tell you something right now. If you want a man to call and text you first, it's not about playing games. Heart, it's about understanding how men operate. It's about learning the difference between chasing attention and commanding respect. See, heart, men are hunters by nature. It's in their wiring. The moment you start chasing him, you switch his instincts off. Heart, you take away the very thing that drives him, the thrill of pursuit. Men love a challenge, but they respect what doesn't beg for their attention. Heart, when a woman knows her value, she doesn't sit by the phone waiting. She doesn't check her messages like her worth depends on it. She lives her life. Heart, she moves with confidence. And that right there is what makes a man start thinking about her nonstop. You want to know what makes a man call you first? Heart, when he feels like he might lose his place in your world, when he feels that little bit of uncertainty, that he's not your only option. Heart, that you're not sitting around waiting for his text to make your day. That's when he moves. Because men chase what they can't easily have. They value what doesn't come begging. You have to remember this: mystery fuels attraction, but desperation kills it. Now, heart, I'm not saying you have to play hard to get just to manipulate him. No, I'm saying you have to be hard to get because your life is full. Heart, you've got purpose, goals, friends, peace, and self-respect. When you're happy on your own, you don't send 10 texts to fill silence. Heart, you don't call back trying to figure out what's wrong. You give space not to punish him, but to protect your energy. You see, heart, when a woman glows with self-respect, that energy speaks louder than any words. Here's the truth. Men always notice when something they took for granted stops being available. When you stop texting first, heart, when you stop chasing conversation, when you pull your energy back, it gets his attention. Not because you're playing a trick, heart, but because your silence speaks. It says, I'm not chasing love that doesn't chase me back. It says, I know what I bring to the table, heart, and I'm not afraid to eat alone. That's power. You want to make him call and text you first. Stop trying to fill the silence. Heart, let the silence do the talking. Stop checking your phone like you owe him a reply. Move like your world doesn't revolve around his attention. Because when you do that, something changes. A man starts wondering what you're doing. He starts thinking, she's not reaching out. Has she moved on? Heart, is she busy? That curiosity, that slight fear of losing your interest, that's what makes him reach out. Men may act tough, but let me tell you something. When a man cares, he notices everything. If you used to text him every morning and suddenly you don't, heart, he feels that shift. It might take him a day, maybe two, but he'll feel it. When you stop giving him the attention he's gotten used to, heart, his mind starts working overtime. Because men crave validation too. They may not admit it, but they love knowing a woman is thinking about them. Heart, so when that attention disappears, he's going to want it back. Now, some women mess this up because they get impatient. They pull back for a day, hard, he doesn't respond, and they jump right back in with, hey, just checking on you. Don't do that. You've got to let the silence breathe. Heart, you've got to give him space to feel your absence. The same way he made you wait, now he has to feel what it's like when you're not always available. Heart, that's how balance returns. Because a man doesn't appreciate your presence until he experiences your absence. Heart, you've got to remember, you don't attract respect by demanding it. You attract it by living like you already have it. Heart, you teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If you respond to inconsistency with patience every time, he'll never change. Heart, but when you shift your focus back to yourself, When you start doing you, hitting the gym, chasing your dreams, laughing again, heart, living again, that's when he notices, because men can feel when a woman's energy changes. Let me tell you something real. Confidence is magnetic. When you stop making him the center of your attention, your energy shifts. You stop sending anxious texts. You start glowing different. You walk different. Heart, you talk different. You become unpredictable again. And men love that. They love the woman who has her own rhythm, her own peace, her own world. Heart. That's what makes him chase. Don't text him just because you're bored. Don't reach out just because you miss him. If he wanted to talk to you, heart, he would. Stop finding excuses to start conversations. Every time you do that, heart, you're teaching him that he doesn't have to put in effort, because you'll always be the one to show up first. But when you stop, heart, he's forced to make a decision. He's got to ask himself, do I want to lose her energy, her attention, her presence? And that's when he'll call. That's when he'll text. Now, let's be real. Some men won't. And that's okay, heart. Because if he doesn't reach out, that silence told you everything you needed to know, heart. You didn't lose anything. You just found out who wasn't willing to try. That's clarity, not rejection. Heart, stop chasing people who don't see your value. Stop trying to remind someone you're worth effort. Heart, you can't teach consistency to someone who benefits from your forgiveness. Sometimes the best way to get a man's attention is to stop giving it. Heart, pull your energy back and redirect it to yourself. Do something that makes you proud. Post that picture not for him, but because you feel good. Heart, go out with your friends. Live, glow. When a man sees that you're genuinely happy without him, it does something to him. It wakes him up, heart, because he realizes he's not the source of your joy anymore. And that's when he'll come running. Now, heart, this part is important. Don't let him back in too easily when he does. When he finally texts, heart, don't reply instantly like you've been waiting all day. Take your time. Match his energy. Make him earn your attention again. Because when you give too much too soon, he goes right back to taking it for granted. You have to reset the tone. He needs to see that your time, heart, your love, your energy, those are privileges, not guarantees. And when he calls, don't bring up why he didn't call sooner. Don't sound bitter. Heart, sound happy, peaceful, unbothered. Let him feel that you're not mad, you've just moved differently. Heart, because nothing gets to a man more than a woman who isn't chasing, isn't complaining, isn't begging. She's just glowing. Heart, that's when he realizes what he's missing. You see, men are wired to pursue, but you've got to give them something to pursue. Heart, if you're always the one initiating, he never has to. You've already done his job for him. The secret is stop being predictable. Heart, stop being too available. When a man knows exactly when and how you'll reach out, there's no excitement left. But when he doesn't know what you're thinking, when he starts to wonder, is she losing interest? That's when his effort returns. Heart, let me tell you this. The woman who gets called and texted first isn't always the prettiest, the funniest, or the most talkative. Heart, she's the one who carries herself like she's whole. She's the one who knows her value whether he sees it or not. She's the one who doesn't chase. Heart, doesn't beg, doesn't wait. She's too focused on her own life to obsess over someone else's inconsistency. Heart, and that's exactly what makes her unforgettable. You want to flip the dynamic. Stop trying to impress him. Start expressing yourself. Be genuine, heart. Be joyful. Be busy. Don't let your happiness depend on whether or not he texts you. Let your peace depend on your purpose, not his presence. Heart, because when a woman learns how to love herself deeply, a man either rises to meet her standard or falls away. Either way, she wins. Now, heart, I know it's not easy. It takes strength to pull back when you care. It takes courage to stay silent when you want to reach out. Heart. But that's what growth looks like. Love doesn't mean chasing. It means understanding that if it's meant to be, it'll come to you. You don't have to force anything real. The right man won't make you question your worth. He'll remind you of it. Heart. So don't waste your energy begging someone to choose you. Spend that energy becoming someone who chooses herself first. Because once you do that, Heart, once you truly own your worth, you'll stop worrying about who's calling or texting. Heart, you'll know that the right person will not because you chased them, but because they felt your absence and didn't want to lose your presence. Now here's what most women don't realize. When you start focusing on yourself instead of waiting for his text, something powerful happens inside you. You stop vibrating from insecurity and you start glowing from confidence. Heart. Men can feel that shift even from miles away. Energy doesn't need Wi-Fi, it travels. When your energy changes, the way he feels about you changes too. Suddenly he starts wondering, what's different about her? Why does she seem so happy lately? And before you know it, heart, he's the one sending that message. Hey, heart, I was just thinking about you. Because here's the truth. Men are drawn to women who don't make them the center of their world. They want to earn a place in your life, not be handed one. When you're constantly available, constantly reaching out, you're removing the mystery. Heart, you're removing the chase. And that's not because men are playing games. It's because pursuit is built into how they connect. When a man has to step up to reach you, he grows. When everything is given without effort, he gets lazy. Heart, you can't inspire effort if you're doing all the work for him. And that's why patience is your biggest power. When you hold your ground, heart, when you keep your silence, you're not being passive, you're being powerful. You're sending a message that says, I'm not desperate. Heart, I'm not waiting, I'm living. And that does something to a man's pride. It triggers that instinct that says, heart, I need to make a move before someone else does. Because let's be real, men want what they feel they could lose. Heart, if he's too comfortable thinking you'll always be there, he won't move. But the minute he senses you slipping away, his energy changes fast. Now some women ask, but what if he forgets about me? If he forgets you that easily, he was never meant to stay. Heart, don't be afraid to lose someone who isn't afraid to lose you. That silence that you're scared of, it's actually your filter. Heart, it removes the ones who only wanted attention and reveals the ones who actually care. The real one will feel the distance and do something about it. Heart, the wrong one will feel the distance and do nothing. And that's how you'll know. When you stop chasing, your peace returns. Heart, you start to remember who you were before that phone became your anxiety trigger. You start to enjoy your mornings again, laugh with your friends. Heart, focus on your work, live your life. And in doing that, you become magnetic again. Heart, because nothing is more attractive than a woman who is fully in love with her own life. Heart, that kind of woman doesn't need validation. She commands it without asking. Sometimes silence is the loudest message you can send. Heart, when he doesn't get that good morning text he used to see every day, he starts thinking. When his phone stays quiet, he starts checking it more. Heart, when you stop reminding him you care, he starts wondering if someone else has your attention. That's when the tables turn. Because suddenly, heart, you're not chasing him. He's chasing the feeling of your attention again. But here's the part that really matters. When he does text you first, don't rush to fill the void. Don't drop everything just because he finally remembered. Keep your tone light. Keep your energy calm. Heart, don't act surprised. Don't act desperate. Match his effort. Don't outdo it. When you respond from peace instead of pressure, he feels it. Heart, he realizes he's dealing with a woman who knows her value, a woman who can't be swayed by a single message. Heart, and let's be honest, if a man really wants you, he'll show you. He'll text, he'll call, he'll make plans, he'll find a way. No one is too busy for who they value, so stop making excuses for inconsistency. Stop saying, heart, maybe he's just bad at texting. Nobody's bad at texting someone they actually want to talk to. You deserve effort. You deserve initiation. Heart, you deserve consistency. And you don't get that by chasing. You get it by choosing yourself first. Heart, because a woman who values herself creates space for a man to step up. When she stops overgiving, he has to start giving. Heart, when she stops checking in every time, he has to start reaching out. It's balance. Love can't flow one way forever. Heart, and when he feels that shift, that you're no longer available on command, that's when he starts to realize what he's losing. Heart, Let me tell you something about men. They don't forget women who made them feel seen but never needed them. They might talk to others. Heart, they might get distracted, but that one woman who carried herself with grace, confidence, and peace, she stays in their mind. She's the standard. Heart, she's the one they compare others to. Because she didn't chase, she inspired pursuit. She didn't beg for attention. She became unforgettable. Heart. So if you're tired of always being the one who reaches out, it's time to change your energy. Stop trying to control his actions. Heart, start mastering your reactions. Don't match his distance with panic. Match it with peace. Don't meet his silence with worry. Meet it with strength. Because the one who stays calm always holds the power. Heart. The one who doesn't react emotionally creates curiosity. He starts wondering what you're thinking, what you're doing, who's making you smile. And that curiosity leads to contact. There's power in being the woman who's not chasing, not waiting, not begging, but becoming. Becoming stronger, heart happier, wiser. Becoming someone whose value doesn't depend on someone else's validation. When you shift from chasing attention to chasing purpose, heart, your whole life changes. You stop begging for love and start attracting it. And let's not forget, when you act like a prize, heart, you attract someone who's willing to win you. But when you act like a follower, you attract someone who treats you like an option. You can't be both the prize and the pursuer. Decide which one you want to be. Because the prize doesn't chase. The prize gets chosen. If he wants you, he'll find a way. If he doesn't, that silence is your answer. Stop interpreting silence as rejection. Start seeing it as direction. Heart, it's the universe's way of saying, that's not your person. Because the one meant for you won't leave you confused. Heart, he won't have you waiting for a text, questioning your worth, or fighting for attention. He'll bring peace, effort, and clarity. Heart, so let the man do what he's meant to do, pursue. And let yourself do what you're meant to do. Be worth pursuing. Heart, build your life so full that his call becomes a pleasant surprise, not the highlight of your day. Because when you truly love yourself, you stop waiting for validation from a phone screen. You start realizing that your peace, your joy, your worth, none of it depends on who texted you today. You want him to call. Be busy becoming the best version of yourself. You want him to text. Heart, give him a reason to miss your presence, not because you're playing games, but because your life is so rich, your energy so rare, heart, that he can't help but be drawn back. When you love yourself this way, heart, everything else starts aligning, including the kind of man who will never make you wait by the phone again. Heart. Conclusion, so here's what I want you to walk away with. You don't need to beg for attention from anyone who's supposed to care about you. Heart. You don't need to text first to prove your worth, and you don't need to chase love to deserve it. The moment you start moving like a woman who knows her value, you change the entire game. When you hold your peace, when you walk in confidence, when you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, everything begins to shift in your favor. Because the right man will recognize your silence, heart, not as distance, but as dignity. He'll feel that you're not waiting around, you're standing firm. And that kind of woman is unforgettable. Heart. She's not an option, she's the standard. She's the kind of woman a man won't risk losing. You see, hard love isn't about who texts first or who calls more. It's about effort, consistency, and respect. And when a man truly values you, heart, you won't have to wonder. You won't have to beg. You won't have to chase. He'll step up, heart, because real men rise for women who carry themselves like queens. So stop asking, why won't he text me first? And start asking, why am I waiting for someone who doesn't see my worth? When you start living like you're the prize, heart, you'll attract someone who treats you like one, heart. And that's when you'll realize the moment you stopped chasing him was the moment he started chasing you.